everybody, welcome to the video. Hope you guys are doing well. Today we are going to be looking at this album, the first Simon and Garfunkel album, Wednesday morning, 3 a.m. So basically I think I'm just gonna read everything that's on the cover, read everything that's on the back, and maybe show you the record itself. And we'll see where it goes from there. So this album, I'm pretty sure it was released in 1964. And I know that it did not do very well at all. And they were like nobodies basically until they not re-recorded, but they overdubbed drums and guitar and electric bass over the sounds of silence, and then it became like this major hit, and then they got a bigger deal, I guess, and recorded their next album, which did a lot better. So, yeah, I think I'm just gonna read everything that's on the back, and maybe all the tracks and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, this says, Wednesday morning, 3 a.m. Exciting new sounds in the folk tradition by Simon and Garfunkel. Alright, let's see, produced by Tom Wilson. And I know it was engineered by Roy Halley, but I don't think his name's on here. And I'm pretty sure he ended up producing all of the other albums that they did eventually. Alright, so here's a pretty long little letter by Art Garfunkel. Let's check it out. Dear Paul, this was written on July 1st. Dear Paul, how's London? I just want to interrupt your tea for a moment to let you know what's been happening since you left. You know, it kills me that you're in London now, goofing, while I'm here with 3 term papers ahead of me, and the album sitting, waiting downtown at Columbia in our cubby. 2 things before I forget. Did you find a scooter for us? Call up that number I gave you. The guy knows all about these sort of things. He'll be very helpful. I expect to see you and the machine in Paris when I come after finals. Also send me some of the chords to Wednesday morning because I expect to do singles at Gerd's for a few nights. Tom asked me yesterday if I would write the album notes. I told him I thought the author should explain his own songs, but I'm reconsidering. In fact, it's a very pleasant task. I know how you feel about this, but I, your greatest advocate, want as many as possible to understand as much as possible. Please understand that mine is the difficult position, more than slightly analogous to the man who received Franz Kafka's dying request to burn all his manuscripts, but who nonetheless felt obligated to rush off to the publisher at his first chance. The point is that you understanding the songs, me believing in their worth, and Columbia recording them is really not sufficient, so I decided last night to write the following as a listener's guide to the songs. Alrighty. I first heard He Was My Brother in June of 1963, the week after Paul Simon wrote it. Cast in the Bob Dylan mold of that time, there was no subtlety in the song, no sophistication in the lyric, rather the innocent voice of an uncomfortable youth. The ending is joyously optimistic. I was happy to feel the way the song made me feel. It was clearly the product of considerable talent. In September 1963, I returned from Berkeley, California, where I had spent the summer. Paul had just completed Sparrow, and was already working on the 3rd song. With Sparrow begins much of the style that characterizes all the later work. The clarity of the song structure is matched by the simplicity of its subject. The song is asking, Who will love? Poetic personification is used for the answers. Greed, the oak tree. Vanity, the swan. Hypocrisy, the wheat. I was greatly impressed with the sparrow, and I arranged the 2 songs for us. We sang at Folk City that night and formed the partnership. I confess that Bleecker Street, finished in October of 1963, was too much for me at first. The song is highly intellectual, the symbolism extremely challenging, the opening line in which the fog comes like a shroud over the city introduces the theme of creative sterility. But it is the second verse which I find particularly significant. Voices leaking from a sad cafe, smiling faces trying to understand. I saw a shadow touch a shadow's hand on Bleecker Street. The first line is a purely poetic image. The second line touches poignantly on human conditions of our time. To me, it shows the same perceptive, psychological characterization as Sparrow. The golden wheat. I would if I could, but I cannot, I know. The third line marks the first appearance of a theme that is to occupy great attention in later work: lack of communication. The author says that the poets have sold out. The poet writes his crooked rhyme. The line, $30 pays your rent, reminds one of Judas Iscariot's betrayal of Christ. Sorry, yeah, totally butchered that. For 30 pieces of silver. Admittedly, the song is difficult to understand, but worth the effort. The Sounds of Silence is a major work. We were looking for a song on a larger scale, but this was more than either of us expected. Paul had the theme and the melody set in November, but 3 months of frustrating attempts were necessary before the song burst forth. On February 19th, 1964, the song practically wrote itself. Its theme is man's inability to communicate with man. The author sees the extent of communication as it is on only its most superficial and commercial level, of which the neon sign is representative. There is no serious understanding because there is no serious communication. People talking without speaking, hearing without listening. No one dares take the risk of reaching out, take my arms that I might reach you, to disturb the sound of silence. The poet's attempts are equally futile, but my words, like silent raindrops, fell within the wells of silence. The ending is an enigma. I find my own meaning in it, but like the most good works, it is best interpreted by each person individually. The words tell us that when meaningful communication fails, the only sound is silence. Wednesday morning, 3 a.m., written in April 1964, is a change of pace. The heightened intensity of the Sounds of Silence has given way here to a gentle mood, and the melody is once again a soft, smooth vehicle. It is a painting that sets a scene, sketches some details, and quietly concludes. Alright, that's the end of the listening guide, and then these are just some final words. Paul, let me know what you think. I tried to be as honest as I can. You know how we feel. There may or may not be a market for intellectuality, but there is your personal feel for the material, and ours for the performance. I promised I'd be down for the mastering next week, to fight for the harmonica, and he was my brother. Making an album is lots of fun. Listen, try to get us a job for when I come home, and no singing in the streets. Art Garfunkel. So I read this when I first got this album, maybe like a year ago, and it was really interesting. I'd never really cared to get any sort of deeper words on the making of these songs, but it was really interesting to hear that. And I'm glad that that was on the back. I discovered this album before I got into vinyl, and so I had no idea that well, even a CD. I mean, I just streamed it, so I didn't know, what was on the back. So it was a really good surprise to get this. Alright, so here are the track lists. On side 1, You Can Tell the World. Last night I had The Strangest Dream, Bleecker Street, Sparrow, Benedictus, The Sounds of Silence. And on side 2, He Was My Brother, Peggy O, Go Tell It on the Mountain, The Sun is Burning, The Times They Are Changin', and Wednesday Morning 3 a.m. That one, Wednesday Morning 3 a.m. is definitely my favorite on that side, I think. That one is The Times They Are, and The Times They Are Changin'. That's probably the two that I like the most. And, I guess, Sounds of Silence is pretty good. Especially, it's interesting hearing the acoustic version without the drums. I think I prefer this version, actually. And, Bleecker Street is also really good. Alright. Alright, so now I think I will just show you guys the actual record, and I'll read, any sort of unique things that I haven't already read. But first, I don't know, you definitely can't pick it up from the camera, but this is like a really clean copy, and I got it for like $2 or something on Long Island in New York. Same with the cover. Like, I've seen some of these and they're always like ripped, the glue's coming apart, but I think for $2 this was a really good deal, and I'm pretty sure I have all of their albums, so hopefully I'll get to those if this works out. We'll see. But yeah, really big fan of their stuff. It's really good change of pace from like Led Zeppelin and Red Hot Chili Peppers and other stuff that I listen to. Alright, what else? Okay, so this, I basically read everything, but, obviously Columbia Records. This was recorded at Columbia Studios in New York City. The catalog number CS9049. I don't even know what those numbers are called, but XSM77822. That's for side 1, and side 2 is, what is it? XSM77823, yeah. Oh no, those are 9s. 77923 and 922. And basically just repeats the track lists for each side. Same thing. A little bit of, copyright information here. Nothing special. Alright, well, sometimes if the vinyl's like really dirty, I'll clean it, maybe, but this one's really clean. I just got it, I got it a year ago, but I don't really play it that often, because this is probably my least favorite album of theirs, so it just stays in here for the time being. But I guess that's it. Not really much to show. Let's see, anything else? Anything on the side? No, nothing that you could see anyway. See, like, for $2, like, this is really good. I'm really glad I got this. But I guess that's it. So hopefully that was cool for you guys. Hopefully the cars in the background weren't too annoying. I just moved into a street, the main street basically, so it's really loud. But doing the best I can here, Alrighty. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you later.